morning, everyone. My name is Julie Edwards, and I am the Director of Health Promotion within U Chicago Student Wellness. And I'd just like to thank you for joining today. I see a few others are joining, so I'll just give it a few more minutes. Now, I hope that you all have either something to drink or something to eat, because today what we will be doing is an eating and drinking meditation. So whatever you brought today is completely fine. And what we're going to do is really try to engage all of our senses as we meditate together through eating or drinking what we have in front of us. I myself have a cutie, so I hope that you have something. If you don't, I'll give you a moment to go ahead and grab something so that you can join. Now, I want to give just a little bit of information regarding just eating meditation in general and the mindfulness practice. I just would like to ask if any of you have ever tried to eat or drink mindfully in the past. Feel free to just put it in the chat if you would like. Okay, I see a thumbs up. Feel free to use your, okay, wonderful. So some of you have tried before. And what I encourage you to do is, as I mentioned, use all of your senses, really trying to engage where you're able to really look at whatever you have in front of you in a new way, as if you haven't seen it before. And then also, what does it smell like? What does it feel like? What are the sensations that you're feeling in your body? And so we'll go through that today, because sometimes we can get so caught up whether we're eating or drinking, particularly I would say if we're doing it while doing other things, such as working or studying, that you can just mindlessly eat in front of the computer and just hurry up and scarf down your food and not necessarily even engage in it. Eating mindfully can open a whole new world for students as well as ourselves as staff and faculty. And so what I'd like to do is just ask you to imagine how much pleasure in eating has passed by while you've had attention on something else. If you've been reading while eating, watching TV, or whatever it may be. And it may be true that you aren't enjoying good food fully if you're not taking that moment to eat mindfully. One of the benefits of mindful eating or drinking is that slowing down really helps your brain know that you're full and at the right time so that you're unlikely to eat too much. So paying attention to your food might actually help you make healthier food choices, or just ways in which to engage things with different textures or different tastes, just so that you can really fully experience the sensations as you're eating or drinking. And so what I'd like to ask you to do is just sit comfortably wherever you are and take whatever you have, whether it is something that you're about to eat or if it's something that you're going to drink, and just place the object in your hand and just let it rest here without any movement at all. And just bring your awareness to it. What does it feel like? What is the texture, the temperature, the weight? Do you notice that your mind is wandering, what it might be, or thinking that you know what it is? Just try to bring all of your attention to the object in your hand. Notice the color. Notice if the light shines on it differently in different places. Maybe there's smooth or rough places that you can notice just by sight. Pretend that you've never seen an object like this. You're taking it in for the first time, really trying to notice all of the different aspects of this object. Also, check in with the sensations in your mouth that might be signaling a wish to eat the object in this moment. Are you feeling any other sensations? Are you wondering what the point of this is? Are you waiting for this exercise to be over? What thoughts are going through your mind as you're exploring the object with new eyes? Just notice your thoughts, but bring your attention back to the object. Now what I'd like you to do is bring the object up to your nose. Concentrate on every movement it takes to move your hand and your arm. Hold the object under your nose and just notice the smell. What is happening with your mouth or your thoughts? Again, trying to fully engage all of your senses. Now, for some of you, it may depend on what your object is. And so in my case, I will have to peel my orange. You may have something with a wrapper that you'll have to unwrap. And so what I'd like you to do is just take a moment to either open up what you may have in your hand or to just put whatever you have in your mouth slowly, just placing the object in your mouth without chewing or swallowing it. And again, just paying attention to just the sound, the feel as you're either opening or peeling. And for myself, this brings up new smells because the orange smell is much more pronounced. Fully engage with your senses as you're bringing your attention to this moment with your object. And as I said, when you have the object ready to put into your mouth, just allow it to sit in your mouth without chewing or swallowing. Just let it rest there and notice anything happening in your mouth. Do you have a desire to chew? Do you feel saliva coming around? Slowly and gently, either chew the object or drink whatever you have in front of you. Trying to experience it and how you're feeling it in this moment. Chew very slowly and mindfully. Notice the taste, your tongue movements, the texture, and then also changes in the texture and the taste. And as you swallow, just feel the bits of food as they go down your throat and into your belly. And I'd like to ask you to continue this practice Just really engaging, fully looking at the object prior to putting it into your mouth. And taking some time to sit with it, possibly smell it again. And then as you put it into your mouth, just slowly allow it to sit there. You may notice that the texture changes when you bite into it. For myself, I feel a burst of juiciness from the orange as I bite into it, and that juice releases into my mouth. Just try to explore all of these sensations as you eat whatever you have in front of you. And sometimes during this practice, there may be thoughts that arise, and that's okay because that's normal. But what I'd like you to do is just try to release those thoughts and bring your attention just back to the moment and back to what you're feeling as you're chewing or as you're drinking what you have in front of you. For those who might be new to mindfulness, this does take practice. And so thoughts are always with us and they will always come up as we're doing various activities and as we're trying new things. And what I would encourage you to do is if you find those thoughts happening with no judgment, just try to release them. Recognize that they are there, but release them like a flowing river. Just allow them to float by. And then you can bring your attention back to this moment as you eat or drink what you have with you. And with eating meditation, what I find can be helpful is if you just try to engage, really be able to smell the object, feel it in your mouth as you're chewing it. Allow it to just sit there for a moment to just feel how your body reacts, many times with hunger or just the desire to eat or drink what you have. And then just as you're eating or drinking, feel that sensation, not only in your mouth, but then as you swallow it and it goes down your throat, just try to feel it as it travels through your body. It allows you to just be fully present and experiencing this moment for what it is, with no judgment, just accepting it, and just taking time to be mindful in the moment. Now it depends on what you have in front of you and whether or not it will take a long time for you to eat it mindfully, or potentially you're already done. If you are finished eating what you had in front of you, what I recommend is just sitting here and trying to breathe in deeply and just feel your breath in this moment and try to take note of that experience of eating mindfully. And whether you are finished or not, what I'd like to ask you to do is just bring your attention now into this moment so that we can just sit with our breath, just feel the sensations in our body. Maybe you still have your food or drink in front of you, and that's completely fine. You may focus on that if you still have it, or bring your attention and your awareness to your breath and where you feel it the most. It may be your nose or your chest, potentially your abdomen. Just breathe in slowly and deeply. Releasing that breath as you exhale. Releasing any tension that you may feel. Breathing in and gently releasing that breath out. Just try to reflect on the eating or drinking that you did, the sensations that you felt eating mindfully. I'll ask you all to slowly just open your eyes or finish putting down your food that you were eating or your drink. Just bring your attention back to the room. And for those, I know that some of you said that you have tried eating mindfully. As you'll notice, some of you may have just had one small object that you were eating. And so as you can tell, it would take quite some time to try and eat a full meal mindfully. But I've heard from many people who've gone through some of our courses that by doing that and taking time to eat mindfully a full meal, not only does it take longer, but they're able to savor everything that they're experiencing as well. Some students have shared that they really try to eat very mindfully, particularly if they're splurging and paying for an expensive meal. It's something that they really want to engage in. But some people just try to eat mindfully at least one bite of their first meal each time that they eat. And so I encourage you to think about ways that you might incorporate eating mindfully more readily in your daily schedule, whether it's just one bite before you sit down and eat a meal, or whether it's a full meal and you try to engage in that experience. I'd like to ask if anyone has any questions at all, or if I can provide any clarification just in general about eating or drinking mindfully. Feel free to put it into the chat, or you can unmute yourself, whatever you prefer. Well, pending no questions, I would like to thank you all for joining today. I have put an evaluation into the chat, so if you're willing to take that, it helps us so that we can understand what would be most helpful to you in our weekly mindfulness sessions. So feel free to share your thoughts or perspectives in that. We truly appreciate it. And again, I thank you so much for joining today. I hope that you'll take some of this practice and really try to utilize it in your daily life. And if you have any questions at all, you can always reach out to us. Our website is wellness.uchicago.edu, and my email is julieedwards@uchicago.edu. I thank you all so much for joining today, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.